hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're at PACT-TV Studios in City Hall in Duluth, and it's December 18th, 1 week from Christmas. And this will be our last show until the New Year, since Christmas and New Year's are on Monday. So we're going to have two special guests. One is the promoter of all these big high school tournaments, holiday tournaments down in the cities, where it's like a mid-season state tournament. And then we're going to have Tim Kolehmainen, who publishes and edits the breakdown book of the high school sports. And this hockey book is something else, and people should get it if you're into hockey. So I'm going to call John Barger, the promoter of the Premier Hockey Holiday Classic Tournament. Yeah, John's been doing this for many years.
Hello?
John Barger, this is Jerry Borough from the Minnesota Hockey Connection. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
You're back in Minnesota to get your Premier Hockey Holiday Classic Tournament going, correct?
You are absolutely correct.
Hey, John, this is amazing this year. This is like a mid-season state tournament, the teams you have in your three different ice arenas. It's crazy.
You know, Jerry, it's going to be a really exciting 3 days. This year we're lucky enough to have, I think, 8 or 9 of the top 10 teams in it. So 2 of them are undefeated, Minnetonka and Wayzata.
Right.
If it would stay like that, would meet the final game of the third day on the 28th. So, and, you know, Hill Murray's got a good year going, and Holy Family. There's just a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
Andover, Maple Grove.
Rosemont's playing good?
Rosemont's playing really well.
Yeah.
They lost early, but they've been playing great since.
Plus, you got the Rogers team. They had a bad game the other night, but they're one of the top teams in the state.
They're a very, very good team. Yeah, they had an off night. Chanhassen got them pretty good, but other than that, they've been, and you know, they'll play Minnetonka and Wayzata both in the tournament too. So, yeah, there's some really good matchups.
Hey, you know, I think there's another team that's undefeated in your tournament. They haven't played that many games. Lakeville Salt. I might be wrong, but I think they're undefeated.
No, you're correct. They're undefeated.
Okay.
They haven't got into the meat of their schedule
Right.
yet, Jerry, but they're undefeated too. So 3 of the 4 teams, if it would stay that way this week, would be in the Plymouth or the Wayzata bracket would be undefeated, and Rogers would have 1 loss.
Yeah, you got 4 of the top 5 teams in the state in your tournament, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, Chanhassen's just got a great team. They got beat a couple times early, but you know they had a kid out with football and a couple kids out, but they're back now and they're playing really well too. Hill Murray's having a great year. Like you mentioned, Holy Family, Maple Grove, Andover's playing well. Rosemont's playing well. So there should be a lot of good games. I know the final game at St. Louis Park is Chanhassen Hill Murray. So that's another great match.
There you go. Yeah. That's the nice thing about your tournament. You got these top teams that I'm going to see, and I got a bunch of friends coming down from the Duluth that go down there and see it too. And the games are 12:30 and 2:45 at the Plymouth Ice Arena, where Wayzata and Tonka and Rogers will be playing. And then after the second game, you can either go to Maple Grove Ice Arena or you can go to the St. Louis Park.
Yeah, those games start. Maple Grove starts at 2:30 with varsity, and St. Louis Park starts at 5 with varsity.
Yeah, so people can see 4 games a day for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you're up for some good tournament hockey, it's going to be a really good test for a lot of good teams. Good time of the year for these guys to be playing those tough teams.
Yeah, you had Chanhassen in your Thanksgiving thing over at Pago Rink, and I saw them a couple times in the first two games, and I wasn't too happy the way they played, but they come on since then, and
Yeah.
they gave Tonka all they can handle, and lost 3-2. So
Yeah, and there's section full, so it's that's another. I mean, there's just a lot of really good teams this year, and fortunately, we got a lot of them in our tournament. But yeah, I mean, I think Chanhassen's as good as anybody. The YZM Minnetonka game will be both of those teams are playing and so talented,
right.
But there's just a lot of really good teams. Holy Angels is playing really well. They tied St. Thomas the other night. St. Thomas has got a nice team.
Yeah, I've seen almost all these teams already, and boy, this is just some amazing scheduling for the tournament and that. It's like I said, mid-season state tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty close. You're pretty close.
And if anyone's a hockey fan, they got to get down to these three rinks and start out with over in Plymouth, Plymouth Ice Center, where you can watch Tonka and Rogers and Wayzata and Lakeville South, and they switch off every night, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
then you can go to take your pick, go over to St. Louis Park or go up to Maple Grove Ice Center and watch some other great games. And these are a lot of top 10 teams here. So
Yeah, no, it should be like you had mentioned. It should be really good. And even the opener with Tonka and Rogers, what a barn burner. Rogers one loss on the year and probably top 5 team, and Tonka number 1. It should be really exciting, fun games to watch.
how long have you been doing the holiday tournament during the Christmas, New Year's week?
I think this is the 13th or 14th year, Jerry.
Okay.
We missed 1 year, and then actually 2. One, some of the teams went south, so they went Prior Lake, and then the COVID year. But other than that, I think this is the 13th
Okay.
or 14th year.
And I know you do the biggest scrimmage tournament in the summer, the Summerfest. That are you still doing it in St. Louis Park?
Well, yeah, Bloomington, St. Louis Park, and Bagel last year we had 3
Okay.
rinks going.
Yeah, you always have a few rinks, a lot of
Well,
teams.
we had the 3 rinks doing varsity at Bloomington, and the 2 rinks at Plymouth doing varsity, and then the JVs at St. Louis Park.
Okay, so you still have about 25 teams going to that, right?
Last year we had 42
Varsity teams?
varsity JV.
Wow! Oh, varsity and
I
JV.
think
Yeah.
it was 44. I think we had 24
Okay.
varsity and 20
Okay. Yeah. Okay. With the JV, yeah. 'Cause a lot of teams bring both teams.
JV. Yeah,
So-
yeah, and they should.
And that's the
kids.
most that's amazing thing too. All these teams at one place.
Yeah, in the summer, and you can't believe how hard they play. And they're mid-season, honest to goodness, the way they play, I'm just amazed.
And I know you've been doing the Summerfest almost 25 years.
It was 25 or 6 this year. Yeah, 98 starts.
Because I remember the early years.
Yeah. The first one we did, I was on the executive high school board. We fought to get to work with our players in the summer, and they approved it. And then I thought, well, it would be kind of fun for the kids to work out all summer and have a tournament. And we had a lot of teams from all over the state. And we had 16 the first time. I remember it was really fun. And Duluth Ace came down. Geez, for 7 or 8 years, I might as well just handed them the T-shirts. They won it so many times.
Right.
And ECU too at the time won 3 or 4. So, but always really, really good games and a lot of fun.
So, do you buy tickets at the door at these 3 ice rinks, or do you have?
We have a cash. We have Venmo, write a check, and there's the cash machine also. And we're going to pre-sale at Plymouth at 9 a.m. every morning. So at 9, if anybody wants to come and get a pre-sale ticket so they don't have to wait in line or can get in.
Right.
I know the other night they had 1,250 people at Plymouth for the Vanille game, and their capacity is I take that back. They have 1,350, and the capacity is about 1,450. So they were just about at capacity.
Right.
So if we're going to pre-sell in the morning from 9 to noon every day at Plymouth.
I know that Tonka game is going to be a full house. You You can sell.
If we get good weather, it could really be quite an event.
I think someone should scalp tickets. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. We always got that one guy that's from Duluth. He always waits in line to get in free all the time.
I know. It's worked most of these years.
You've never paid once in 24 years, Dave.
Well, we'll
But
tell
you
them.
do a good job reporting, so
Yeah.
it's fine by me. I'm only giving you a hard time.
I know. Okay, John, thanks a lot for talking to us, and we'll put this on our website and everything, the schedules and everything. And is there any site you have that people can go to see this?
You know, I don't have a website, but you know, it's on the Hockey Legacy and then the
Okay,
Hockey
yeah,
House schedule
okay.
stuff on there.
Okay, great. Okay, John, have a good day, and we'll see you next week.
Happy holidays to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you. Thanks, Jared.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
There you go. John Barger. He's the promoter for many years at Premier Hockey, and I'm telling you, somehow he figured out who's going to be the best teams the last few years, because this year there never been a tournament with so many top teams. And like I say, on just Wednesday, you got Tonka against Rogers, and on Friday, you got Wayzata and Tonka, the top two teams undefeated. It's just a crazy tournament. Then if you want to go over to another rink, you can see Hill and Chanhassen one night. You can Holy Angels and Chanhassen. You can see, Holy Family and Benil on Wednesday afternoon at 5. So there's a lot of games you can go see and see all the top 10 teams basically. Dinah's down at the Dakota tournament. And who else is in the top 10 that I have that's not going to be there? I can't think right now, but like I said, 8 out of the 10 teams are going to, top 10 teams are, in my rankings are going to be over at the Premier Hockey Holiday Classic Tournament over in Wayzata, where Plymouth Ice Center, and we got the Maple Grove Ice Center, and then we got St. Louis Park Rec Center. So those 3 rinks will be full house next Wednesday the 27th, 28th, 29th. So if you're in the cities or going down or want to see the best hockey, this is like state tournament time now. Getting ready for the second part of the season after that week. And so we'll really know who the best players are and who the best teams are. So get to these rinks and watch some good hockey. So there you go. John Barger. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to call up a friend of mine that he publishes and edits the Breakdown Hockey book and other sports books. They do high school football, baseball, softball, girls volleyball, boys and girls basketball, and boys and girls hockey. And I always get the hockey books because that's all I do is hockey. And so we're going to be calling Tim right now in a couple minutes and just go over some things. I'm going to go over what my rankings were Sunday. I had Minnetonka 6-0, number 1. Wayzata 7-0, number 2. Edina 6-1, number 3. Chanhassen 5-3, number 4. Rogers 6-1-1, number 5. Hill Murray 4-1-1, number 6. Maple Grove 5-2, number 7. Benil St. Margaret 5-1, number 8. And then I got Rosemont 7-1, number 9, and I got White Bear Lake 5-1, number 10. And we'll see what happens this week, but I might throw in another team if one of these bottom half in the top 10 lose. So we'll see, and I got a lot of good teams to watch too. So you can go on the Minnesota Hockey Connection Facebook site, or you can go under my name, Jerry Borough, JerryBoroughh, Facebook, and you can get all the hockey information. Or you can go on Twitter, the Minnesota Hockey Connection, and you'll get all that information on the rankings. and other hockey information. Okay, I'm going to call Tim up right now. Let's see, where is Tim?
Hey Jerry, how's it going?
Very good. Well, we got Tim Kolehmainen on the Minnesota Hockey Connection show today. And Tim has been a publisher and editor of the Breakdown sports books, USA Sports, and some of the greatest sports books I've seen all over the United States. So how's it going today, Tim?
I'm going well here. I'm a little sore today. I played hockey last night. I was out there on the ice, and
you still play? Hey,
I had a crash, and I feel it.
I hear you.
52 years.
Did you play hockey at Duluth East?
I tried out. I never made the team. I made it through several rounds of cuts, but not till the final.
Okay.
I played a lot of youth growing up. Played Stewart's Bantam A hockey.
Okay, Dick Stewart.
But I played. I ended up doing a couple of years of junior gold up there. Played with my brother in junior gold. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, do you? Many years ago, you used to go back. That's your parents are live up in that area still. Do you still go back there for Christmas, or do you go down to the cities for tournaments? You probably do hockey and basketball then.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So yeah, I do come back every year at Christmas. We'll only be back for about a day this year because we're so busy. I am newly engaged and incorporating more, my soon-to-be wife's family into our plans too. So it makes it a little more hectic at Christmas time.
I bet.
Yeah, we'll come back for a day, and I won't be able to hit any hockey while I'm up there, but I usually do. I usually end up at a couple of the tournaments. I've been up the shore to do the North Shore tournament a couple of times. The one at Heritage Center I've been to a few times, and the new rink there in Proctor. I've enjoyed hitting that tournament too. You get some small school teams that you don't get to see otherwise out my way here in Moorhead.
Okay, you do more than the hockey because I've seen you got basketball, boys and girls, and football, baseball, softball, volleyball.
You got it. I think you named them all. Seven different books.
Do you do the pictures on most of them?
Yeah, I sure do. I do have help though. There's a crew of 4 guys that have done a lot of photography for me. A couple of the guys are more attuned to the posed photos that go in there, and then I got a couple guys that are more attuned to the action photos, and then I kind of hit the whole gamut. But yeah, it's a good crew. But yeah, a lot of the photos are coming out of my camera. I don't know what my shutter count is on my cameras, but I was guessing the other day before I replaced my old one, it must have been near 1 million photos.
I bet. How many years have you been doing this?
This is, let me think now. This was the 17th year of hockey, and I've been on. I came on board about a year before we started up the hockey books.
Okay.
Yeah, about 18 years of this. Before that, I was working in newspapers. I was out in Connecticut, working at a daily newspaper for about 3 years, and then in Buffalo, Minnesota, here for a weekly paper for about 6 years or so.
I'm going to show the hockey book here and put it up for a while so my producer can get it. The Breakdown hockey book, and you got Nolan the Road as your player of the year.
First time we've had a White Bear Lake guy on the cover. Yeah, it was.
That's funny.
It gets even. I'm going to say it's more challenging every year to try to pick out a cover guy because we have to go to press before the season starts, obviously, because it's a preview book, and so we're tracking. Lauren Nelson, who does a lot of the writing there for me too, we're tracking who's coming back, who's not, and it's an adventure sometimes. We're like, okay, should we put this guy on the cover? Well, we're not sure he's coming back. Okay, so how, and then we end up talking to the kids and the parents, just trying to, just get a feel for it. But yeah, first time ever for a White Bear Lake guy in the cover.
So I've talked to Nolan's dad about a good month before the season. He told me he's coming back. So I knew that one. So that's a good one. Sometimes, like you say, you might put a player on there and then then last minute he's not coming back.
Exactly. I have a horror story from about, I want to say it was about 12 years ago. There was a guy, I won't name him offhand, but we had him on the cover. We interviewed him. We had a big feature story on the program. His program. We do 4 of those in the book each year. And, he was going to be a captain. We quoted him and everything and put his picture big and right on front. And sure enough, he's the only guy that we had as the large cover guy that has never, that didn't return. Some of those smaller photos, you see the other 9 guys on there.
Yeah.
Every so often we'll miss on one of those.
Right.
But yeah, getting the main cover guy who doesn't end up returning for high school hockey, that was one where I just slapped my forehead and thought, oh.
Right. Well, that's pretty good odds, though, the way hockey is going, where when they started the elite league, everyone basically stayed. So you knew they're going to high school. Now, almost all the best skaters are out playing juniors before, and we don't know if they're coming back.
It makes it more challenging. Yeah. What's their junior experience going to be like? They may intend to return when they leave, but maybe something happens out there and they have a bigger role than they think or whatever, and it does make it more challenging.
So I go to the showcase for the North American Hockey League and then all the U16, 18 teams down at the Schwann rink. And then I go the week after, I go out to Pittsburgh all the time. So sometimes maybe I can help you a little bit, where I can go to the player and find out what they're thinking, and that
Yeah, that would be great, especially on, like I said, on the cover guys, the guys that we know, and those are the guys that are most likely to take that advantage. Take advantage of playing juniors too, because they are the top level guys. We want the player of the year to be on the cover.
Right.
Yeah, so that's even more challenging.
So can you redo the cover when something like that happens? So you lose a few, the ones you put out already the first month, but after that you can.
I will make changes on. We started doing a digital edition, so you can get it online instead of a printed version, and I will change the digital version for sure. If something like that happens, I'll make a change, and then maybe I'll even alert everybody that that it has changed because of that.
Right.
Yeah, but the printed stuff we pre-print everything, and so it's out there.
Hockey's got to be the worst.
It is definitely by far.
Blood pressure's going up.
That's right. Yeah, every October I think, okay, who's coming back?
Well, it's kind of funny, even being out in Pittsburgh, all the scouts were talking and that. Everyone told me none of the Chanhassen kids are coming back, and everyone came back.
Yeah. We Cam Henderson, the goalie. We wanted to put him on the all-state teams. He was going to be a major part, but we heard from basically everybody. Yeah, he's not coming back, so we couldn't put him in there. And of course, there he is.
It's crazy. And then watching all these players, there's a whole bunch out in USHL this year, and half of them really belong. They could have stayed out there and played competitively, and some of them on power play even. But there was one kid, he's a good player, but his mom went out to pick him up in juniors the last day before high school practice, and somehow the club kind of made him stay. And so his mom had to come back home alone.
Oh, no.
And he was on the 4th line and are the 13th forward. That's what I never understand that. How do you develop?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would think, like you said, if you're playing power play and top 2 lines, top 6 forwards or top 2 sets of D, whatever. Yeah, you might, that's a good opportunity for you. But if you're not, why wouldn't you come back and play with your friends? And selfishly, I like to see all the guys come back because it makes for better hockey too. But yeah, if you're the 13th forward, that's not you're not getting a whole lot of time.
Right. So your book has everything in it. I'm telling you. Predictions for Class AA. You got rankings for that. Your preseason and Class A. Only team I was disappointed in the first week of seeing them was Moorhead.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I just went to their game Saturday. They hosted Minnetonka up here because I wanted to see how good Minnetonka looks, and they look every bit as good as a number 1 team should look. It was a 3-0 game up here, but the shots were 50-12 or something like that in favor. Minnetonka controlled the game. The thing about Moorhead, though, is they're super young this year. I didn't realize they were that young. A lot of juniors and some sophomores playing real key roles. So speaking of guys coming back, if they can convince all those guys to come back, I think they'll grow throughout the year. They'll be a much better team come playoffs than they are right now. And next year they could really be somebody to be reckoned with.
And that's
for
a
sure.
funny thing with Moorhead. They've never left early, and now the last 3 or 4 years, all the top players seem to be leaving.
Yeah. I was talking with a couple of the parents at the game too about that. And same thing. We mentioned how young they were, and boy, I hope everybody comes back. And that didn't
Right.
used to be a worry up here. I think, well, probably the first 10 years I was covering them up here, they lost one guy early that I can think of. And then, there's been a little more of an exodus lately. That team from, I want to say 2 years back, I was thinking was going to be a state title contender as we were putting the book together. And then, a couple of their key players left early. I think they lost 2 or 3 defensemen off that team.
Uh-huh.
And that just, I mean, they
Right.
were still a very good team, but not a state championship kind of team.
Well, let's go over some more stuff in your book. You got a recap of every team in hockey in Minnesota. You got the sleeper teams that you think can shock someone that you didn't think was going to be there. You got who will win the Mr. Hockey. That's another thing. I've been voting Mr. Hockey for many years. This is going to be the hardest year ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Even picking the cover guy out was difficult. I mean, no one's a great pick for that, but we were like, oh, Minnetonka's going to be so solid. But then we thought, well, which of the Minnetonka guys do we pick?
Right. Right.
There's about half a dozen of those guys that could easily have been the cover guy. And then questions on who's coming back and who's not. It's going to be a challenge. I'm glad I'm not voting in it, I guess.
Okay, I got a couple minutes, Tim. So you got the coaching records, you got scoring records, you got all the state champions from day one in state tournament in Minnesota. You got all teams in all sections to break down each one of them. So this is one heck of a book, and the book
Player profiles.
The book costs $59.99, and if you can, someone just buy it digital alone.
Yeah. The digital alone is the $59.99. The soft cover version $69, and then the hard is another $20 beyond that for the hardcover stuff.
Okay.
So, yep. And you can actually, if you get a print copy of it, you can get for $20. You can get the digital version too, just as an add-on.
Okay. So. Hey, that text you sent me on the order of the book, could you email me that at jburrow@gmail?
jburrow@gmail. I will do that, Jerry, for sure.
And I'll put it on my website and Facebook and that.
Excellent.
Well, thanks a lot, Tim, and good luck with all your sports books and taking a million pictures. And
yeah, and maybe we'll connect at a rink here coming up too. At the state tournament for sure, but maybe somewhere along the lines here during the season too. Okay,
Tim Kolehmainen, breakdown book editor, publisher, and all the sports books in Minnesota here. You can get the breakdown book. I'll get it on my computer. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Jerry.
There you go, hockey fans. Breakdown book, tournaments in Christmas on New Year's week. And that's going to end it for this show. And I'd like to thank Jim and Liz at the PACT-TV studios for producing this show. And, hey, I'll see you at the rink because I'm going to see a lot of hockey in the next 2 weeks. Lots of hockey. And after the first of the year, we'll have a lot to talk about. So, see you at the rink.